What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode here on the MCE tutorial series. In today's video, we're going to be going over how to set up infinite coal power. So, as you can see, I've got a blank auto farm set up, and if you would like to learn how to build that, we have a video. I'll link it down below. It'll just show very quickly all the necessary machines and things to set up the auto farm. Now, we're going to be utilizing mystical agriculture coal seeds, so I will quickly show you how to build those because it can be a little wonky. So you need a bunch of different crafting materials, right? You're going to need perdentium, inferium seeds, like crafting seeds, tier 1, and you have to go through all the tiers. You'll need some prosperity shards, prosperity shards, some regular seeds, and then in order to get the level of perdentium, you will basically need an infusion crystal and inferium. So it's probably best to set up another farm just like this one for inferium before you get started with this setup here. And basically you can use this same setup for the inferium, and I'll kind of explain that in another video that I'll have linked down below. But you will only need one coal seed because of crop sticks. So if we place coal down, and I would suggest doing this before you set anything else up, because over time naturally this will grow and spread. If we do this here, you can see it's spreading. So excuse me, if you have a watering can and you want to speed up the process, just go ahead and water all of your crops. And I don't want the rain going. The sprinkler will help to speed this up a bit, as well as the worms from the auto farm, but if you just kind of let it go, and then what we can do is you can break one of these, replace your crop stip, and put it over in this plot, and that will also start spreading and growing. So that's a really cheeky way to kind of duplicate your mystical agriculture seeds, which is really nice because they can be sort of a pain to build, but we get infinitely use them. We can get an infinite number of them using crop sticks. So basically we're going to set up the same deal with our plant gatherers, and again all of this is explained in the tutorial video on that, so go watch it. I'm going to get this set up really quick and then I'll get back to y'all with the next step of the process. So we've got our farm set up, and as you can see it is collecting coal essence. So coal essence itself isn't going to be useful for our coal power plant, right? So what we're going to want to do is put down a tier 1 crafter from RF Tools, a very nice machine. And as you can see, this bad boy has 2 recipes. So what we're going to do is we'll take our coal essence here, kind of hop on over, and we'll select our first recipe. And what we want to do with that is just set this up to craft coal. So all items and input slots are consumed. That is what we want this set to. Results of crafting operation will go to the output buffer. So that's not what we want. This is our output buffer. This is our input buffer. So what we're going to do is apply this, and then we're going to get some coal. So let's run some items to this really quickly using item conduit. And remember, we have to program these. So we want this to be insert, always active. Wait, no. Insert always active on our builder. Extract always active over here. So boom. And now this should start getting some coal essence put into it. Extract always active. Insert always active. And this machine is going to need power as well. So go ahead and get a power conduit hooked up to that. And now if we take a look in here, we should start getting coal to our output slot, but we don't want that, so double tap. We want this to go in the input buffer. So if we apply, next time we get a round of 12 coal essence, it should instantly put our coal back into the input slot. So let's go ahead and wait on that. And if we take a look in here, you can see that as soon as we get the essence built up, it is crafting coal. So we want another recipe. Let's go ahead and set this one up to make blocks of coal. And that's going to be extremely useful for us, and we want this one to go into the output buffer. So if we hit apply, you can see that now we are outputting through coal essence, and then blocks of coal, we're outputting blocks of coal. Now what we're going to do is set up some item conduits, and we're going to be introducing a new machine, which is the petrified fuel generator. So the way this bad boy works is basically depending on the combustibility of what you are inputting into it, it is going to generate a specific amount of RF. So coal blocks are very combustible, and when we see in here, it is producing 800 RF per tick. So this is by far going to be the most amount of power for the cost. Like it's just the most bang for your buck when it comes to power. And we can actually set up quite a few of these farms right here. You can duplicate this as many times as you want and have it all connected to one crafter, and it is going to produce a ton of power for us here. So what we can do is insert, always active, insert, always active, and now we're going to be generating, you know, a ton of RF as soon as this starts getting coal put into it. So it's going to fill this one first, and then it'll start filling these, but trust, eventually it will get around to it. This thing is super efficient, and it's one of those things you can set up and just leave it there. And now we can use our energy conduit here, and if we go to the conduits, there is one thing I want to touch on. So we are generating, you know, 800 times 3. I'm not going to do the quick math because I don't want to make a fool of myself, but it's a lot of power, more so than 600 RF. So as you can see here, it says max output 640 infinity micro infinities per tick. A micro infinity is just RF. It's a one-to-one conversion. So this normal basic energy conduit is not going to be enough to actually, it's not going to have a transfer rate high enough to make the most out of our power. Now these ones will transfer 5,000 per tick, so if you can get to the second level, it would be best practice, because then you can actually make use of all of the RF you're generating. So if you're using like the lower level of conduit, you're not actually going to be getting all of the power per tick. And you can kind of wire this up to run off anywhere in your world, so long as you have the conduits to reach. And in our next episode, we'll be going over flux networks and how we can set something like that up to wirelessly transmit power all around the world. So be sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay tuned and be here for the next upload. And yeah, hit the like button, comment down below what you want to see next. Hope you guys have a great rest of y'all's day. Peace.